So, Pat, reflect on your first year in the association.
Yeah, a great year. Came off an injury last year, and just wanted to be able to get my foot in the door and create an opportunity for myself. And I'm just thankful for this organization for sticking with me through the injury and giving me an opportunity to compete.
Pat, given your past, what's the reaction been from a lot of people given you making an NBA team?
I think, I've had the support of obviously my former sport all the way through, and then just the support from my family and people that are in my close circle has just been unreal. So, I set a goal for myself, and I'm still not there yet. I want to get on that floor and impact the game at a high level, and so this year was just another step in the right direction. But I've had unreal support, all along this entire journey.
What have the coaches told you to work on this offseason, areas that you need to improve on?
Yeah, I think defensively, just being able to get out there and lock up some of the top tier guys at this level. I think they trust me in terms of my IQ and making plays on that side of the ball. I think the one thing they want to see is maybe get a little bit quicker laterally, a little bit more explosive. I had hip surgery last year, and so just trying to make sure I get in with the training staff this summer and make the most of it. And then obviously, we'll figure out how things play out here and try to compete and get on that floor next year.
The G League gets better every year. Talk about the process you've had of going up and down and up and down and the level of play and how pretty similar they are getting at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm fortunate to be in an organization where they value the G League, and we try to emulate what they're doing up here. So for me, it was just about trying to play the right way and carving out a role down there for myself that I felt like would be similar to what I could do at this level. And the level of communication off the charts here between the G League and the team up here. So it helps to have Nick down there and his dad's coaching here. So just to have that continuity and just constant communication was really pivotal for me. And I think, like I said, this is one of the organizations that really values that, and it's paid off. From Damian Lee to JTA to a lot of different guys. So fortunate enough to have that path laid down for me beforehand, and just trying to follow in those footsteps.
There's one more. Your brother hitting you up with a lot of questions about what it's like at this level?
Yeah, I mean, we talk every day. We're basically twins. He's gonna have a little bit different journey. Obviously, my journey is a little bit different than the norm, but he's gonna be going through all the pre-draft and the combine. So that's probably the one area in life that I probably won't be able to give him the most feedback. For the most part, I've been able to kind of lay the groundwork for him and show him the way. But his journey will be a little bit different this year, and hopefully for the better. He's earned it.
Where do you feel like you want to get better the most this summer?
Yeah, I think just naturally my role is going to increase. I think the ball will be in my hands a little bit more, and just being more efficient, trying to take the burden kind of off Steph and Draymond's shoulders. How can the rest of our guys just impact things? I think a lot of times when we got into games that really mattered or we really need to win, we kind of just defer to Steph, and I think that's natural just because of the level, that he's at and that he's been doing for so long. But I think for our other guys, it's just how can we impact games that are meaningful and, take the burden off his shoulders.
Is that for you about scoring?
Yeah, I mean, I think that naturally, comes with your second year of improving. But just in all facets of the game, continue to elevate my assist to turnover ratio, try to lead the team in rebounding again, just all that kind of stuff that impacts winning at a high level. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to be in the play-in anymore. I had my little taste of it, and it was terrible. So just getting that top 6 seed every year is something I look forward to.
Brandon, after getting drafted by a team like the Warriors with the roster that they have, could you have ever imagined having the impact that you did as a rookie?
Confidently, I would say yes, but also there's a realization of, who you got in front of you, Hall of Famers. Even, when we had Corey at my position, he's an established veteran who's been on championship teams. So just knowing that, but going into each and every day, controlling the little things that I do, playing well on defense, communication, all that kind of things, not turning the ball over, learning how to play with Steph and Clay, allowed me to kind of get on the floor. And then when you're on the floor, just impacting winning, which I think I did with my plus minus this year. I think that's was a staple, and I think it's just going to continue to get better.
In your meetings with the coaches today, where did the summer league come up in your conversations?
Yeah, I'll definitely be playing. I know me and Trace will. It's an opportunity for me and him to lead a team and to be the best players out there and to lead other guys, who are new coming in or played on our G League squad with us, and win. I think it's super critical, for Mike and for Steve, to see the leadership that me and Trace can provide. And for me, it's an opportunity to show them what I can do with the ball in my hands. Obviously, that sample size was, obviously minimal because we had Steph and Chris. But I think it would be a huge opportunity for me.
Was there a point this season where you felt, I don't just belong, but I can lead too?
Yeah, I mean, there's always that belief. But like I said in Anthony's question, it was just you have Steph and you have CP, and you don't want to overstep as a rookie. You understand what they've accomplished and what they bring to the table. So, I mean, I look back at that Milwaukee game in Milwaukee. Steph and CP didn't play, and to do the things that I did, I think in that game kind of goes to show, where I can get to. But at the end of the day, we have those two guys, and, they're Hall of Fame guys. So just kind of finding my role as a rookie and, trying to fit in where I can fit in, it was the biggest, key for me.
You mentioned, you guys were in the play-in 10 seed. If the roster changes this summer are marginal, do you think you guys can't make a big leap?
Yeah, because I think our young guys will get, way better. Obviously, everybody's confidence will take a step up. But like I said to your question earlier, just taking that burden off Steph and Draymond and not always having to rely on them. And so when teams, scout for us, they're not just trying to take away, Steph and Clay. They have to worry about, me, Jonathan, Moses, Trace. Just knowing that and knowing how much better I can get. This is the longest offseason I've ever had in my life. Last year was the draft combine, pre-draft. The year before that I was in the transfer portal, and then in high school you're playing AAU the whole summer. So to have April all the way till October now is a lot of room for me to get better, and I'm excited to see what I look like come October.
Brandon, what's the biggest challenge you learned from an 82-game season?
Biggest challenge, I think me and Steph talked about it, just putting everything into perspective. Nothing's ever as good or as bad as it seems, and knowing that there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but the next game comes quick, and there's not many practices in between. So kind of watching, your previous games to get better, I think was super critical for me. And I think throughout the course of the year, each and every game I took a step up, and if I did take a step back, I took 2 more steps forward. So I feel like the way I finished out the year was pretty well. From when I first played against Minnesota or whatever game, New Orleans, to yesterday, I think I've improved so much. And like I said, just this year I'm going to be at come October, I think it'll be exciting for me.
I think you and Steph's relationship has obviously been talked about, but whether it's a player, a coach, etc., who's someone maybe behind the scenes that has been a surprise in your development too?
Yeah, I think a lot of our player development staff, surprisingly, Mike has been a huge piece of it. Obviously, he has connections back to Wisconsin. So just being able to talk to him about stuff, we have a lot of player development guys, Seth Cooper, Chris DeMarco, all guys from Wisconsin. So to have that comfort and them have understanding of kind of where we come from and stuff like that, having Loon around has been, super impactful. He's not a guy that's going to put up huge numbers, but his impact on our locker room is second to none. Just the insight that he provides, the confidence that he gives to our younger guys, has something that kind of goes by the wayside because of everything else we have going on. But he's super impactful.
What did you appreciate about being teammates with Clay this season?
Oh, Mike, it's amazing just to see a high-level shooter like that. obviously being a teammate with the two best shooters in the world, in my opinion, was something I'm never going to forget. The way he just kind of goes about his life is pretty funny. Just his love for the water and always invite me to go out on his boat and just being a team guy. Obviously, people just talk about the free agency, the re-signing, and all that kind of stuff, but he doesn't really kind of let that fall into our hands. He keeps kind of that his own kind of stuff, and for me, he's been a great teammate. He's always inspired me to do more. When I make a couple shots in the game, he always wants me to shoot more. So just hearing that from a Hall of Fame type of guy was pretty special for me.
So did you go on the boat?
I went on there once, but I didn't get the full experience like Moses and Chris did.
You talked briefly about summer league with Trace. I know there's a group of young guys, obviously, Jonathan, Moses, everybody. But how much of a bond do you feel with Trace as the same rookie class and the impact you guys had? And how much have you guys talked about your potentially expanding role, presumably expanding role in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I feel like he's a brother to me. I feel like every step of our NBA journey we've been together and we've done it together. From Santa Cruz, from summer league last year, to being out of the rotation together. We ended up starting a game together against Utah a few weeks ago. But I'm super excited. Like I said, us four young guys are kind of the future, however way you want to look at that. And for me and Trace, just developing that connection, not only on the floor but off the floor, is something that's going to be, impactful for years to come.
Are you planning on spending a lot of time back home in Wisconsin this summer, or sticking around here?
A little bit of both. I'll be around here, for basketball stuff, getting better, figuring out my body, doing things that will help me. But I'm definitely going to go home, probably take a vacation or two, just to relax.
And then, one common thing that came up with you is just your confidence, and even as a rookie being, brash and loud in the locker room and in practice. I guess, what did you learn about how your personality fits in the NBA this year?
Yeah, I think for me, I was a little, I would say, nervous or timid coming in just because what they've done and how they've done things. So for me, adding my personality and adding what I kind of bring, I didn't know if that would fit or it wouldn't, and I think it did for the best. And I think, to the veterans' credit, they allowed me to be who I was, and it kind of just flowed. And throughout the year, I kind of learned that I was able to have a voice, and I was able to, voice what I thought, and they actually took it into consideration and kind of listened to me and said some things, which that in itself kind of gives you a confidence level going into the new year, that you bring leadership qualities and you can have a leadership role on this team being so young.